Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Super-Fanta-Fi. This being a show where I talk about TV shows of the supernatural, fantasy, and or science fictional genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Season 3 finale of Upload. Great season finale. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, we open up with the court case that Holden and her firm is going up against Horizon. And I love that Lucy's on the stand because she's being questioned about advertising to kids about the afterlife, like Forever Neverland, kind of like Peter Pan or whatever. And I was like, wait, there's no way Horizon signed off on that. Did Lucy do that? Because she suggested it as a suggestion, but her boss was like, Jesus, Lucy, you have kids. And she's like, it wasn't me, it was so-and-so. So I'm like, did she make that decision unilaterally, or did someone... There's no way anyone, considering the reception she got then, there's no way. But it's like, it sounds like they legitimately, either they're throwing it out there because she had suggested that, but it's got to be like she actually did it. So she had to make that decision unilaterally, and it came back to bite her for it. So I thought that was really interesting. We also never found out whatever happened to David Choke after Nathan and them were done with him. What did they do with him? We never even found that out. Because what was connecting that in my brain was like, right, Holden was like, right, we still need, we got all this and that, but we don't have enough to like fully link everything together. So it comes down to Ingrid. They have to convince her to testify, and if she testifies, that's going to be kind of nail in the coffin for Horizon. So it ends up being this interesting development for the story where it's like, right, Nathan is ready to like get, under the law, be seen as not just an upload, but a person. And that way, because he's also like, he wants to, be able to work. He wants to go to Montreal so he can propose to Nora. Because the entire episode, she's like, I don't get this whole Montreal thing. Like, is that really all he wants? She's like, I want something more. I think eventually she figures it out. We never get a scene of it, but I'm assuming like she eventually kind of figured, oh, that's what Montreal is about. Or maybe she doesn't quite get it, but she knows he wants more. Maybe she doesn't know that he's necessarily wanted to go there to propose, but maybe it's like, hey, I'm ready to take this leap because obviously, he wants more and I want more. But I don't know. It seems like she might get that this is about the propose, that he's trying to go there to propose, and obviously having Luke as his best man, and he's like, oh, I gotta wear my uniform, I gotta do this, I can officiate, I could also give a toast, I thought, that of course he'd invite Luke to be his best man. Of course, I was like, oh, that's really dope. Kind of also at the same time this is all happening, Alicia is learning like, oh, she knew Corinna was kind of like sketchy, but it's like she is kind of twisted because she's just like, they just finished having sex. I even love Alicia being like, do you not have any top sheets? Is that supposed to almost be a play at the fact is that like anytime people have sex in TV shows or movies, they're always covered up afterwards? Because even Nathan and Nora had that last episode, so I'm curious if that was that supposed to be, because she's looking like, don't you have top sheets? Because she wants to like cover herself up, so she's covering herself up for her pillow, and like just Corinna's got it all hanging out, and I'm like, but what is she doing? She's laughing at like, oh, Lucy's going through a divorce. Maybe I should upload her kids. And just Alicia's like, Jesus. And she even talks to Luke about it. It's like, I think Corinna like, she's great and everything, but it's like, I kind of don't think she has a conscience. It's like, yeah, it's so interesting because you saw a little bit of, not even, I guess you could call it evil Liz in Roswell, New Mexico's final season, because, story thing happened and Liz kind of went a little dark side, but even then it wasn't like pure evil. She kind of like had a little bit of a humanity switch flip off, and it's just so interesting seeing like Jenny like go full kind of, I mean, to be fair, it's like corporate evil, so it's very befitting. She's already been corporate evil, but Alicia's just seeing more of it now, and it's like, cool, and just kind of worried about it. But Luke is like, hey, we're pirate. Like, she's a pirate, but you're also a pirate. Like, but we're good pirates, and we're gonna beat the bad pirates and the evil pirates by pirating. So they get together a little squad of the receptionist, the AI guy behind the desk, and Tinsley, Luke, and Alicia are gathering together that are going to try and expose Corinna for all the shady stuff she's done and she's a part of, and kind of expose the evil that she is. I love Tinsley finds out, like, wait, I don't have to, pay to like use a bathroom or whatever. Like that's what she was fighting for. Like it's like, oh, like what I'm gonna get out of this is I want to be able to use the bathroom without paying. It's like you can use the bathroom for free. She's like, then who have I been Venmoing? And then later on, the AI guy wants to be able to wear jeans on Fridays because he's like, oh, they look so cool and I want to be able to wear them. And Tinsley's like, oh, I should have wished for that. It's like, you can wear jeans. She's like, no, but I can't pay for the permit. I'm like, who the hell is screwing you over, Tinsley? She's like, fuck. I'm like, it feels like that could be a Lucy thing. I could see Lucy being so effed up to do that just to screw over Tinsley, but like, not unless it's a Batia. I could see Batia just being like mean enough to do that, but like I said, that feels like a Lucy thing. But yeah, they work together all to kind of get all like keep Corinna distracted, cause enough issues, bring the 2 gigs upstairs, cause havoc, and get her distracted. Got her password, but she took the laptop with her, so she has to. Alicia having to pretend to be there. Because I thought that was so interesting. I'm like, oh, she's not talking because she muted herself. Because like she set up the VR, I guess, back at home so she can go, wireless with it, but she doesn't have access to the control panels to be like, well, the controls on the computer just to be like, oh yeah, like unmute myself. I accidentally left myself muted. So Luke has to go there to distract her. He puts on a performance. It's kind of like a one-man show. And Corinna's just so mean, being like, no, God, that was awful, Luke. You have no talent. It's like, gee. I mean, I guess it's like, why are you going to, like, spare his feelings? I mean, you kind of screwed over Luke last episode. You obviously don't like him. But luckily, they were able to get access to Corinna's laptop and everything. They're able to copy everything. And Alicia's so happy. He's like, oh, you were so dope. Luke's like, no, you were amazing. And she kisses him. And it's like, oh, yeah. And kind of walks away. It's like, yeah. Which is so... you kind of feel so bad for so many people. Tinsley, because she's super obsessed with Nathan and likes him. We've kind of pulled away from that, but it's still there to some extent. But she's not as obsessed, I think. Just because of just because of the Ingrid of it all. But also, we also have, they kind of set this up a couple episodes ago, but it's like, Yang was going to ask, like, oh, you're kind of cool and everything, so would you ever, like, wanted to kind of hang out, like, almost, in like, she was almost asking him out for a date. It's like, oh, I wonder what she was going to ask me, so... but yeah, Alicia's been fighting this for a long time because it's like I said, she saw the Nora of it all, that she's just kind of like, I'm not about to go down that round, and kind of has. And it's like, well, especially because it's like, well, you go from like someone like Luke, you see him and yeah, he's a big doofus, but he's so earnest and you like hanging around him, even though he can be so frustrating. It's such a, you love him, but you hate him, but that even the things you hate about him, very much like Nora with Nathan, like even the stuff she hates about him, she loves, so it's kind of a similar thing, which I'm like, about time something like we progress in that department. Granted, Corinna, because of everything Alicia does, giving all that information to the Holden and everything, it does put her in a situation where Corinna wants her in her office, and it's like, okay, so there's a good chance she could get fired, which even looks like, wait, that means I won't be able to see you again. But she's like, no, I promise I will see you later. And it's like, we never find out what happens to her, because she was reluctant, because it's like, oh, if I break up with her, it's like, oh, you break it, because even Luke was like, oh yeah, you break up with her, you get fired. And she's like, I break up with her, I could get killed. It's like, yeah, she is psychopathic enough, and the group that she's a part of has killed people, so it wouldn't be the first time. But I'm curious what happened, because there's always a good possibility Corinna has no idea, but like considering that's the last time we saw Alicia in the episode, I can only assume Alicia got fired most likely. So, because we didn't see her at all for the rest of the episode, so I can only assume she got fired, because it's like Corinna would probably figure out like the only person who would be close enough to her to have access to her files like that would be Alicia, because it's like probably won't piece it together the whole opera, but like probably piecing together like, oh, you were acting weird today, then Luke, and it's just, yeah, there's something up here. So she probably quickly figured it out, but we won't really know until the future to find out like potentially what happened. But I'm leaning towards she most likely got fired. But on the both Nathan fronts, obviously I talked about OG Nathan wanting to propose to Nora. So does backup Nathan. He wants to propose to Ingrid, which obviously is the worst timing considering OG Nathan wants to go to Montreal so he can propose to Nora, wants to even ask her father to kind of come up and everything, and it's like, ew, that kind of put a, kind of took a slow roll to that, because it's like, I'm sure for Nathan, it's like, well, the last thing I want is our special day to kind of be associated with the other me's special day, so it's kind of takes some winds out of his sail. It's also such a shame, too, because it's like, oh, Nora's so, like, dressed up, and she always looks beautiful, but she looks even more extravagantly beautiful. I mean, Andy, like, isn't her last name Alto? Like, the actress who plays Nora is, like, ridiculously beautiful, but she, like, really looked even extra stunning in a dress. It's just, dude, it's like, how can one human being be that beautiful? It's like, holy shit, you know? It's like, Nathan's a lucky bastard, because it's like, you got beautiful women, on both sides. You got Ingrid and you got Nora, and it's just like, both Nathans are winning. That's all we can say in that situation. But like I said, she looked extra stunning in that dress, and it's just, they had to invite Ingrid to kind of schmooze her over a little bit. It's like, oh, this is a little bit weird. And I love Ingrid being like, I'm not going to have a threesome. It's like, no, that's not what we're talking about. She's like, we had to talk about it. Maybe for your birthday. And Nora has to watch, which I was like, oh, so this is a situation where you get Nora's name right. We didn't make a point of it because we always do, but it's like, just because you're like, oh, I want her, she can't participate, she can just watch. She's Nora now. Getting her name wrong every other time. So you only get her name right when you're drunk or when you're talking about her in a losing situation. If she comes out winning, she's Norma or anything else. I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind was North Plain, the band. I don't know why that was like, when I was trying to think of another, because her other names were like Northern and stuff like that. So like the first thing came to my mind was like thinking North, and I was like, oh, North Lane. But anyway, tangents and all that aside. But I love that moment between Ingrid and Nora, where Nora got real with her. It's like, all right, listen, bitch. I was like, hey, yo, we've never heard like Nora kind of like, but for her, it's like, right, we're fighting for people who are being treated as like second class citizens, who are not even being treated like that, being treated as less than that. And it's like, that also includes your boyfriend, who obviously loves you as well and really loves you. So it's like, you're not just doing this, because she was like, oh, like, can I be anonymous? Can I be good head? And Nora's like, what? And he's like, she means deep throat. It's like, oh, God. But nevertheless, Ingrid did sign off on it. And Nathan ends up putting, backup Nathan ends up putting on this whole thing and proposes to her. And she walks away. She's like, no, this isn't what I imagined. I was like, really? But then, like, she has this heart-to-heart with Nora later. And I was like, oh, like, because she's like, I've always chased after Nathan, and now that he finally turned around, I panicked. I got scared because it made it real, but also it's like, if he really does like me, maybe there's something wrong with him, because like, she has a lot of issues about herself, and even Nora's like, oh, fuck your parents, like, they messed you up in this regard, and she opened up to Nora being like, Nora opened up to her being like, oh yeah, I want more, and I hope I don't know if he wants that too. And I love that Nathan kept coming in and out, trying to find the right moment, but comes in, oh, sees Nora hugging Ingrid. I'm going to go back out, not ruin the sweet moment. Oh, come back in. Crap, Ingrid's hugging Nora now, so I don't want to interrupt this moment. So, because Nora's the one that convinced her, like, right, tell people how you feel about Nathan, and that let humanize an upload, but then Holden, maybe that should have been kind of a key sign, but it's also like, right, we got to stick to the facts. You don't want to open yourself up to anything. And sadly, she does, because she got so hyped up over what Nora had said. She was like, no, Nathan, and even when I met the other Nathan, I still love my Nathan, which then the Horizon lawyers had to go like, oh, what were you saying about that? And I love that she's walking away. She's like, oh, I thought you said that we were done. He was like, no, we're only getting started. She's like, shit. I love that without anywhere, she knew she screwed up and immediately started walking, trying to leave the courtroom. It's like, you're going to suffer legal ramifications if you, like, up and leave. I've never seen someone just, like, up and leave the stand being like, oh, I thought you said I was done. It's like, no, we're just getting started. So that definitely blew up the case. But luckily, because of Alicia, they were able to get all of Corinna's emails. And because of that, they were able to kind of make a settlement. But the problem is, it meant that yes, all the families that were affected by the Freon situation were going to get like $1 million each. Um, but the fact is, that means everything they gave Holden would have to be sealed away. And for her, it's like, my clients aren't the uploads. My clients are the people who are affected by this, like the family members, sure, but my job is getting them money. I'm not here representing the uploads. Because Nora is fighting for the uploads, which, I mean, I get it, because Holden's like, it's like, right, that's not actually within my job purview. I did what my job was. But it's still the thing of, you think she would kind of fight for that a little bit. I mean, she doesn't have like the personal connection that Nora does, or Ingrid, because it's like, well, they're both dating. Even in Nora's case, even though he's downloaded, it still falls under the category of an upload. And so it's like, you think that'd be a little complicated. You'd at least want to, considering, and once again, like I said, it just doesn't fall under job purview, but it's still like, that is your ex, but maybe because it is your ex, you're like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, I still did my job. We still won, but it's not the win that Nora was hoping for, to get rights for all uploads. This isn't just about Nathan. I mean, she really loved her job, and knowing like how things are unfair for so many people, even her boyfriend, that she wanted to do more. Oh my God, you even had Ingrid. I've almost let it slip my mind. She invited Elevator Guy, which I love. The guy behind the desk tried to distract the Elevator Guy. He's like, oh, you might want to you just stuck in the elevator all day. He's like, oh, that sucks. It's like, oh, I might want to start, just look out the window. Just keep looking out the window. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's so interesting because the AI guys are usually on the same wavelength. So for one of them to be like, dude, you're weird, you're acting weird. It's just so interesting to have that dynamic. And also, he got invited to Ingrid's wedding. And he's like, wait, what? She's like, yeah. As like, oh, he's like, oh, so you want me to take everyone from like the reception to the ceremony? She's like, no, like, the fact of the matter is, you're invited as a guest, as one of my friends. And he's like, friends? I was like, oh, that's sweet. It's so interesting, the dynamic some people are developing with very specific versions of the AI guy, which I thought was so neat. But when it's all said and done, her even being like, yeah, you can't invite no +1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Like, don't try and bring other AI guys. Only you get to show up. But still, that's really sweet. Because, I mean, Ingrid hasn't really made, like, I'm surprised I would have expected her also to invite Tinsley. I'm so curious how Tinsley would have felt about that. Like I said, we've pulled away from the obsession with Nathan, but it's still somewhat there, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, like, because I brought it up way early in the season. I'm like, oh, Tinsley and Ingrid have to end up being like becoming friends or something like that, but maybe not. It's still a possibility. But the aftermath of all that sucks. So Nathan ends up getting detained because I guess all the stuff about what Ingrid said, like, we didn't get that on camera, but like, I guess, like, I mean, within the confines of the show that we got to see, I'm assuming like she had to probably be honest on the stand and probably bring up like there being 2 Nathans. And now, because later on Lucy comes in like, okay, how many people have illegally copied our clients? And it's like, it's not, I thought it was just going to be Tinsley. Turns out a few more people raised their hand, including Batia. And I'm like, interesting. I'm also surprised there is no David Choke copy, but because I'm about to say I had to go like, wait, who's his angel? It's like, oh yeah, Ivan's his angel, so Ivan's not about to back him up. So I'm like, interesting. So like I said, we still don't know whatever ended up happening to him after episode 6, but because of that, Lucy's like, damn, that's a lot more than I was hoping. I was hoping it was going to be a lot less, because Horizon now, because of the aftermath stuff, they're rebranding themselves as it's better. It's supposed to be like, oh, things are better. And it's like they even say in the commercial being like, yeah, we are still holding on to Horizon just because of the legal stuff that we have to deal with. Like, that'll still be there, but better is like, oh, it's rebranding, we're gonna do essentially better, and so basically they're going around deleting all the copies of people, because there's only supposed to be the 3 regulations. There's supposed to be one copy, there's only one version of like one brain. And so they go around killing all the other copies. Lucy's boss ends up going in there and dragging away Nathan. He almost got away because Tinsley was like almost happy, like, oh, she's happy, but home dude inserted himself in an avatar and ended up dragging Nathan away. I was like, damn. Plus, Nora's Nathan got captured. Now no one knows what's going on. And the AI guys too, because I'm sure it was probably the elevator guy in particular. It's like, oh, my friend's fiance is in trouble, and so he ends up like building like this wall of protection, and Nathan almost got away, almost made it to the gray zone, but no. And then we get that saddest shit ending where it's like, yeah, they get contacted by Nathan, but it's like, yeah, I saw the other Nathan get destroyed. It's like, wait, the cliffhanger being, which Nathan are you? It's most likely Nora's Nathan. Ingrid's Nathan is gone, but they're going to probably make it a toss-up. I wonder, is that the truth or is that a lie? Because the whole point is like also getting like uploads to work, so maybe one of the Nathans isn't destroyed. He's being kept, but made to work. So I hope that's the case, because once again, it's got to be Nora. I mean, I could see the story going either way. I could see it being like Ingrid's Nathan is still alive, but not Nora's, just to like break her heart more. But like I said, I get the feeling like there might be a twist where like both Nathans are still alive. That is kind of not just kind of, that's really sad. I mean, we've had some cliffhanger endings before, but this might be the most depressing of the three, at least in my opinion. So, at the time of recording this, it hasn't been decided whether or not the show's coming back for a fourth season. I hope it does. It feels like this could easily be like a setup for a fourth and final season, considering where everything is. But I don't know. Like, I'd hope the show at least gets one more season. At least. If they want to bring it back for more, I'm happy for that. But I feel like where the story is, I could definitely see it being a one more season and let's wrap this up type of situation where everything is. But because we also, like I said, we don't fully know the whole situation with Nathan, OG Nathan, like, is it really all hunky dory? Like, would he have been able to stay forever in his body? And I think because I was almost halfway expecting an element that I thought before Ingrid accepted Nathan's proposal was going to be that she was going to upload, because there's not really too much left for her in life, and she spends more time in Lakeview than in her own real life. So I'm curious to see how that shakes up. Like, I could definitely see a thing of, I do believe both Nathans are going to still be alive, but like I said, we'll see whether there ends up being that case or not. But I think we're going to have like our happy couplings. I think, Luke and Alicia, however that works, I'm not sure. Maybe he maybe not re-downloads it. Like, he downloads, maybe other Nathan downloads, and him and Ingrid are together, or maybe they upload together in Lakeview, and it just becomes like this weird happy family. Because like the whole point was to try and make free on free for other people. But once again, a lot of that got sealed away because of, the deal Holden made and stuff. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the aftermath of all this. Fingers crossed, hoping, like I said, that we at least get one more season, because I'd love to see where season 4 would take us, especially and potentially if it ends up being a final season. Once again, there's been nothing that says that, but that's just where I feel like the story could end. That all just depends on if the creators, Greg Daniels, is given access. I think he's already starting to write season 4. I just don't think it's gotten. I was reading something that said like an interview he did in October was saying like, he's going to start writing in a week or two, start on season 4, but beyond that, like, it hasn't officially been greenlit yet. So I don't know. Like I said, I hope we get more upload, because I'd love to see where things go. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. To the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.